entertainment with tech. And so I think this is kind of like a great thing to be able to see Walt himself come back to life in a way in his home park, talk about his history and what went through with that. There's been some controversy online that people say they don't really like how he looks, and maybe they don't think he looks exactly like the Walt Disney that they know. But I think this is one of those things you really have to see in person. I'll be heading out to Disneyland in September, so I'll be able to check it out. But if you just saw pictures of like the Na'vi from the Avatar attractions over in Animal Kingdom, you would be like, that's a pretty cool looking robot. And then you see it in person and it is mind blowing. So I'm thinking that's one of those things that when you get the emotion and the surround sound, the lights and the projections, being able to see Walt Disney on Main Street in the park that he designed and built, I think that's a really sweet thing. And I'm happy to see that the Walt Disney Family Museum and a lot of people came together with the Disney company to kind of make sure they had the most accurate representation that they could.
Well, and impressive technology, regardless.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's cool. It's the first animatronic that Disney's ever built where he actually is leaning back on his desk and he stands up to start to talk. That was something that Walt himself did a lot when he was on television or had interviews. He happened to lean on his desk. So I think it's cool that they added that detail. I mean, that's not a small thing to have a robot lean back because, it's not really leaning. They've got to use the support and all the stuff that's done in that. To have him lean and stand up is a really, really big deal. And I can't imagine how many hours went into trying to perfect that.
Give you a live look right now at Truist Park in Atlanta. The afternoon after last night's All-Star game that you were able to watch last night on Fox 35 and on Fox 13. A lot of work, I'm sure, going on right now to clean things up and that kind of thing. It was another big night for players with Florida connections, including Tampa native Pete Alonso, a first baseman for the New York Mets, hit a 3-run home run last night. Also, Rays first baseman Jonathan Aranda competed in the swing-off last night to decide the game after the All-Star game was tied after 9 innings. The National League ended up winning that in a swing-off after Kyle Schwarber kind of iced it, hit 3 home runs in all 3 of his swings, and that really helped pull the National League ahead in that historic swing-off last night in that All-Star game. Well, that's going to do it for us here on Florida Live. We appreciate you joining us on this Wednesday afternoon, live on Fox Local and on YouTube. We are here weekdays, 2 o'clock, right here. And so we've got 2 more days of it this week, and we hope to see you join us tomorrow. As we wrap up our coverage this afternoon, I want to go ahead and give you a live look at Daytona Beach from our Hard Rock camera. Looking like a beautiful day out there. Saw a lot of rain in the area yesterday, some flooding issues as well in Volusia County and also in Brevard County as the tropical disturbance moved toward the Gulf. But a beautiful day out there, just hot and humid, and that is going to be the story over the rest of the week. So thanks for joining us. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.
You're watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Well, good afternoon to you and welcome into Fox 35 News Plus. I'm Garrett Wymer, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon live on Fox Local and on YouTube. It is 4 o'clock, and that means it's time for today's Top 4 at 4, where we break down 4 of the big stories that we're tracking in the Fox 35 newsroom this afternoon. And joining us for today's Top 4 at 4 is Fox 35 News anchor and reporter Marlisa Goldsmith. Marlisa, thanks for being here.
Yeah, good to see you, Garrett.
Good to see you. Let's start with story number 1, and this has been a long time coming with this CFO position open, but we now have a new chief financial officer here in the state of Florida.
Yes, we do. Governor Ron DeSantis appointed the Sunshine State's new chief financial officer today at a press conference he held in Tampa. Republican Senator Blaise Ingoglia, he's 54 years old. He's going to fill the vacancy that was left by former CFO Jimmy Patronis back in April. You may remember that's when he decided to run for Congress. Ingoglia previously served in the House as chair of the Republican Party of Florida. Governor DeSantis called him the most conservative senator in the state and said that he was has a very clear record as a warrior for the voters.
One of the things Ingoglia said today was that he's going to be a, quote, conservative pit bull and a fiscal watchdog, saying that keeping a close eye on local governments and their spending is going to be a big focus of what he does as CFO. Here's some of what he had to say.
I don't need to tell you, you guys see it, that local government, cities, county, spend things that should probably not be spent on. But with the audit authority at the CFO's office, I promise you, we are going to start digging in and we are going to start calling out some of this wasteful spending. We are going to be a proactive office. People call me a conservative pit bull in the Senate. I'm going to be the conservative pit bull when it comes to spending as your next CFO. That I will promise you.
And an interesting dynamic here as well, because there had been a lot of talk, there had been speculation over this for weeks, if not months, that the governor was going to pick Ingoglia for this seat, but that apparently there had been some pressure on him from the president.
Yeah.
It had seemed that it would to pick Joe Gruters, who is a close ally of the president, another state senator as well. So he ended up going with Blaise Ingoglia. And in fact, I think it was the first question he was asked today in Tampa at this news conference announcing this was about, why choosing Ingoglia over Gruters. And here's what the governor had to say.
His record is contrary to what we've told the voters that we would do. And it's all about doing what you said you were going to do, delivering. Blaise has done what the voters that have elected all of us expect. Joe Gruters has taken major positions that are totally contrary from what our voter base wants to do. So when it comes to making an appointment, I have to go on the record. And I can tell you, if Blaise supported the Perez-Gruters amnesty bill, he would not be standing on this stage today. That's just the truth.
No, the governor also said he had not spoken with the president directly about this, that it wasn't something that Trump had reached out to him about, but we had certainly heard about that. So interesting kind of dynamic there, and just another thing at play here.
Yes.
Story number 2, and that is that we now have a trial date, at least for now, set in the case against the FSU shooting suspect.
Yeah, we all remember this tragic situation. So the trial for the Florida State University student accused of killing 2 people and injuring 6 others in that mass shooting that happened on campus back in April has been set to begin in November, with jury selection beginning on November 3rd. At a case management conference in Tallahassee, the attorney representing 20-year-old Phoenix Ikner, who you just saw there on the screen, said that he needs a little more time to delve into this case. He brought up wanting to look more at some witness testimony, take a look more at the extensive surveillance video from the day that this happened. The presiding judge said that he's open to hearing out the attorney's concerns. Prosecution, on the other hand, they said that they'll definitely be ready to go. Ikner faces 2 counts of first-degree murder and 7 counts of attempted first-degree murder in this case.
And you're seeing video from that hearing earlier today. Ikner himself was not in the courtroom. Yesterday, his attorney filed a waiver of appearance. So basically, Ikner does not have to be in the courtroom for these pretrial hearings and that kind of thing. But again, you mentioned that November date. We'll see what ends up happening. Obviously, it is, would be no surprise for things to get delayed. That's pretty common to see in cases, especially when you're talking about murder charges.
Absolutely.
Story number 3, this is a disturbing case out of Ocala where we're learning more about a daycare worker accused of abusing infants.
Yes, another case, Garrett. This is so terrible. A daycare worker in Ocala, she's accused of abusing 6 infants between 9 months and 4 years old. Ocala police arrested 33-year-old Carla Gonzalez in connection with multiple allegations of child abuse at All-Star Learning Academy. Again, that's in Ocala. We're taking a look at video right here of that arrest happening. Actually, if you listen to it with sound, I covered this story yesterday, you can hear her confusion, and she's trying to resist the arrest, and the officers there are telling her, please stop, or else you're going to be charged with resisting, which she was eventually. Police say that supervisors failed to act on prior complaints that were made. Video evidence prompted this arrest, and DCF got involved. They're mandating that staff retraining as the investigation into management continues. And I also want to bring up parent company Otter Learning sent us a statement about 2 hours ago. I'm going to pull it up here to read it, where they wrote in part, "We are deeply concerned by the allegations and are actively gathering information related to this serious matter. At Otter Learning, the safety and well-being of our children and our care and always will be our absolute top priority. Our mission is unequivocally what's best for children. Be safe, be kind, let's grow together." So they're in the process of reviewing the situation. But again, several complaints were made according to the police report, and they failed to act in a timely manner according to police.
Yeah, which is certainly concerning to hear. And
Yes.
Fox 35's Marie Ettinger spoke earlier today with a parent who apparently had learned that her child was a victim in this case. Here's what she said.
I came to pick up my daughter Monday evening, and I was approached by 2 detectives and I believe a DCF worker, and they pulled me into an office and let me know that my child was a victim, but the person was at that time arrested and brought down to the police station at that moment. I was scared, confused, because I feel like I trusted everybody for so long. It was a gut-wrenching feeling to hear that.
And that's just kind of heartbreaking to hear. Says she trusted them,
Yeah.
and then just kind of heard about this and happening and gut-wrenching. And as you said, some concerns had been brought to the table before.
Which is very concerning. I mean, now the employees working there, they said that they're working with police in this investigation. So DCF is involved. So you would imagine that there will be more things that come out eventually. But I would be interested to see what goes into this retraining process, because it sounds like they're going to have to go back to the starting board when it comes to retraining.
We'll be talking with Fox 35's Marie Ettinger, who's been digging into this more today, coming up in just a little bit. Story number 4, and that is this afternoon. We got an update from crews from Florida who went to Texas, still on the ground in Texas, and really trying to help with the recovery efforts in the aftermath of that devastating flooding there. And here's some video. Marlisa, I mean, this is the flooding from July 4th. Still, a lot of need on the ground there, but just heartbreaking to see, these impacts.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, obviously, no one expected that it was going to be this bad. We're talking about more than 100 lives lost and so many people who were missing following this devastating flooding here. We had crews from Florida going out to lend a helping hand. I wouldn't be surprised if people from several states actually went to go lend a helping hand. This is just such a tragic situation that these poor people couldn't see coming. And again, remember the girl campers who were at that overnight camp. I mean, just imagine what the parents are having to go through, and knowing that this has obviously turned into recovery efforts at this point. There's no hope for the missing who were caught in those waters.
Yeah, absolutely devastating. And we know there are more than 60 members of Florida's urban search and rescue teams, task forces that are on the ground there. They held a news conference. Task forces 4 and 8, 4 from right here in Central Florida, spoke earlier today from Travis County, which is right outside Austin, I believe. And they talked about some of what they have seen there, some of what they have done. It's such a large swath of devastation. They were saying just miles and miles and miles. And they talked a little bit about some of the differences in what the work they've been doing there in Texas compared to what they do, say, here in Florida in the aftermath of hurricanes or other disasters.
It's not all that different because we do a lot of wide area search in Florida and during hurricane recoveries.
The big challenge, I would say, for us or for the teams out in the field has been the terrain. It is different than what we currently have in Florida. It's very mountainous, if you will. It's a lot of rock face. So the terrain itself is different to what we're working. The key component I forgot to mention earlier is also we have two K9 teams here as well from Task Force 1 and Task Force 2. We're currently working with that K9 team in this area to assist with the search.
Conducting that wide area search down the river where we can see the water had crested and now has receded. With that being said, we put the teams out walking side by side over those areas for the 13 miles of Big Sandy, and now we're moving to Cow Creek to do the same thing. So as we move through there, we're doing a very detailed search.
It's not all that different because we do a lot of wide area search in Florida.
So they said, the terrain, one of the main differences, one of the things. They also talked about the impact, we talked about the impact on the families, on the people who live there, and just the devastation that they're facing. They said this is going to leave an impact on them as well. Just, kind of being there on the ground, dealing with these people who have gone through so much, still going through so much, still have a lot of questions about what happened, and obviously grappling with just immense loss.
Yeah, you don't realize, I think sometimes we take advantage or take for granted the work that people are doing when they're, dealing with loss like this and devastation like this, not only the first responders, but I actually came across a post from a journalist yesterday who said, in all the years that I've been a journalist, I have covered some tragic stories, right? But that story, she said, she really had a hard time grappling with the fact that she gets to leave. She's an anchor from Dallas, and she said, I get to leave and go back home, and so many of these people are going home without their loved ones. So just kind of puts into perspective all of the people who are involved when it comes to a tragic event like this and how it impacts and affects everybody.
And not something that they can escape or, like you said, or walk away from there. Well, good perspective. Marlisa, we appreciate you joining us for today's Top 4 at 4. We're going to take a quick break here on Fox 35 News Plus, but we'll be right back after this.
watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus. Give you a live look over Lake Eola in downtown Orlando on this Wednesday afternoon. You can see dark clouds moving overhead there. Joining me live now is Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Noah Berggren. Noah, we appreciate you joining us. Quite a bit calmer out there today. We have seen some showers, of course, but nothing like what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, that's right, Garrett. And we do have a couple downpours as expected today, but nothing too major. It's just July in Florida at this point, just classic midsummer stuff here. And we'll take you onto the Storm Tracker radar now and look at those showers and downpours. You can see a couple of healthy downpours out there. I'll track them for you here with you right now from north to south. We've got a big downpour between St. Augustine and Marineland. You can see that there over the A and Palm Coast. Further to the south, in Pearson and Astor, there's a good downpour moving to the north. And then in downtown Orlando, right over Belle Isle, Conway, Azalea Park, going towards Winter Park and Maitland. All of these showers and storms are pushing off to the north. A couple of torrential downpours, vivid lightning, gusty winds, maybe some small hail through the evening. I don't think there's going to be anything too severe through the rest of the day. There is a pretty strong storm over in the Tampa area. We'll watch that as it zips up I-75 for the remainder of the evening. But by and large, things are going to remain pretty calm and tranquil through the remainder of the night in terms of severe weather, just downpours, lightning pushing from south to north. So exactly how the radar looks right now is how it'll look again for tomorrow. Passing showers and storms, moving from south to north. Tomorrow, again, one or two could be severe, but nothing too significant. And then as we get into Friday and Saturday, these showers and storms you see here on the radar to my side will go away. We're going to have high pressure come in, and that will kill the rain chances and increase the temperature. And for many places, Saturday and Sunday, we'll have the highest air temperature and highest heat index of 2025 so far, with air temperatures getting into the mid to high 90s and a heat index about 105 to 110 across central Florida. Generally, we see heat advisories issued when the heat index is 108 plus. We haven't really had many heat advisories yet this year. So just an extra edge to the heat this weekend and lower rain chances too. I was at one of the water parks last weekend, the tourist area, and it rained at 3 o'clock. It's not ideal. So if you've been on the weekends trying to do beach plans, theme park plans, and you've been rained out the last couple of weekends in the afternoon, especially this weekend, that probably won't be the case. It'll be pretty dry, in fact, Saturday and Sunday. Any showers will be very limited this weekend. So the radar, you see it out there right now. We'll do this today. We do this tomorrow. Then the rain chances come down. The temperatures go up for the weekend. And Garrett, it looks like some places could get about 97, 98 for the afternoon high inland on Saturday and Sunday.
Wow. But like you said, this is just certainly more of our normal pattern. Back to the norm.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it was interesting yesterday, Garrett, as I'm sure you saw. It rained, at least here. I live in Seminole County, not far from the station, and it looked kind of like a Seattle vibe for a little bit yesterday. It rained steadily, consistently for like 6 to 8 hours yesterday. Little bit unusual. You know, we talk a lot about this term, Garrett, washout. People always ask us in the weather department, is X date going to be a washout? Washouts are actually really rare in Florida, unless there's a hurricane coming. Rarely does it actually rain and precipitate for 3/4 of the day at a time. Generally, it's just like today you see out there on the radar, just sporadic downpours.
Yeah, and Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Noah Berggren, we appreciate you joining us. You see on the radar there, it looks like over downtown, seeing some showers and storms there right now, and we'll show you that live camera again. You could see when we first started our weather hit, that cloud was just moving in. Things very quickly got dark, the rain coming down pretty hard right now. I've seen a couple of flashes of lightning there as well. But like you were saying, Noah, this is a little more typical. We'll see it come down, then we'll see it move out.
That's exactly right, my friend.
All right. Noah Berggren, we appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus. I'm Garrett Wymer, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. This morning, the UCF Lake Nona Hospital showed off their new Orlando Innovation Hub. They say it uses artificial intelligence, and they really have the latest in medical technology to improve treatments and surgeries there. And they kind of talked us through how they're able to use that technology and leverage that to help patients right here in Central Florida.
When we think about the work we're doing as HCA's first innovation hub, you see our mission there, boldly embracing, testing, and scaling digital solutions to transform healthcare. It's an exciting time in healthcare as we're able to use technology to enhance the work of our clinicians, to make work easier for those at the bedside, and most importantly, to make sure that our patients have the best care and the best experience when they're here in our midst. I speak from a point of great pride in this team when I tell you that this hospital has the very best patient experience scores of any hospital in Central Florida. And it's not about the technology. Let's face it. It's about the people in this building who are giving that care day and night to our patients. But we want to be able to enhance their work and make it easier through using AI and technology to create new tools. So many of you, as I look around the room, are young. And you have a whole world ahead of you and lots of choices of how you'll spend your time and how you'll use your creative abilities to go out and impact the world. And so our goal today is to show you just a piece of the work that we're doing, and maybe somewhere in there you'll decide healthcare is the place that I want to use my skills and talents, because we need more great people in healthcare. So welcome to UCF Lake Nona Hospital. We can't wait to take you on this journey today, so let's get started. Gina.
So every day we have the opportunity to take care of so many patients. Using technology to enhance the care that we give is very exciting. We were the first hospital selected out of 188 hospitals across our company to be one of 2 innovation hubs. And so we get to do work on behalf of the entire enterprise right here in Lake Nona to improve care and experience for patients all across the country.
Is this set up to where the more you use it, the better the AI gets? Mm-hmm. Because it's learning exactly how you guys operate.
Yeah.
Tiffany, the one thing that you saw there.
Yeah. So part of the development process of these technologies is to teach the AI. We did that for months before we ever really placed it where it could come in contact with a patient. Responsible use of AI is key, and keeping a human in the loop, absolutely imperative. So we have technology that can enhance the work combined with the expertise and compassion of caregivers, and that's when you get the best result.
So incorporating AI is more or less helping out the staff in the day-to-day operations versus actual medical things, correct?
The tools we've developed so far help with documentation and the ease of documentation, for instance, for our physicians in the emergency department. It helps with the administrative burden of nurses at the bedside. Every hospital in the country has shift change twice a day when one nurse hands off to another nurse, shares the important information about their patient. That could be days worth of medical records that need to be summarized quickly into the key points. And we are using technology to help ease the burden and ensure that we've got an accurate report, a complete report, and the nurses can, certainly have the flexibility to add or subtract anything from the report that's driven by the AI.
Oh, you're fine. You're not on camera. Come on through. Oh, you're absolutely fine. Yeah, we're not live. No worries.
How's the staff responding to this?
Yeah, our staff has been involved at every step of the way to help develop these products. And they're enjoying using the fruits of their labor, but they also enjoy giving feedback. This is working really well. This is where we need to enhance the tool even more.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, let me think about that one. There's so much to tell. How do I get it into a sound bite? Yeah, yeah. There is so much opportunity with technology in healthcare, and we are boldly embracing that opportunity, while at the same time having measured progress to ensure that we're doing it responsibly.
We'll be right back with more Fox 35 News Plus after this, so keep it right here on Fox Local and on YouTube.
You're watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus. I'm Garrett Wymer, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. Today we are learning more about this Ocala daycare worker who's accused of abusing 6 infants. I want to bring in Fox 35's Marie Ettinger, who has been looking into this today. And Marie, what have you learned about these alleged incidents and this woman now facing charges?
The allegations are really horrifying her. She's facing 8 different counts for abuse involving those 6 different children, and the abuse allegations are pretty wide ranging. So some of it is kind of pushing kids down, force feeding them, or just kind of handling them somewhat roughly. Others are things like pushing a baby's head into a mattress, potentially risking suffocation in an attempt to get the baby to go to sleep or stop crying. In another instance, she's accused of rocking a baby in a rocking chair or in a crib, but violently. So not just doing something gently and not doing something a little bit aggressively. Police say they have a video of this behavior that passes the threshold for what they consider to be child abuse. I asked the detective who's been handling this case, who saw that video, what it was like looking at it, and he said cases like this are really, really hard, even for him, just because these children are not able to defend themselves and they can't speak up for themselves. I talked with a bunch of parents today who have a kid here. Some of them are the parents of the alleged victims. Some of them are just parents who are waiting to find out whether their kids may have been involved. They said that they are pulling their kids out of this daycare either way, that they cannot feel safe here, largely because, according to police, this was reported to management several times over the course of 4 months, and nothing was ever done to stop it. That's what we're dealing with here, and it's something that Ocala police say they'll be investigating moving forward. They say more charges could be added, or people could potentially be arrested.
How did police end up finding out about it then? Do we know?
We do know one of the daycare workers, the one who took that video I mentioned, eventually called police. That happened, I believe, on Monday. So this worker, who I did actually talk with on the phone today, and she was going to interview and talk about her experience through all of this, she wound up deciding against that because she is still talking with police. She doesn't know whether she might need to get an attorney just to represent her side of things, which would be normal in a case like this. She said that she'd been going to management. She actually has records of this that she handed over to police as well, that she'd reported it over and over to multiple managers, to a director, to a supervisor, and nothing was ever done. So she finally wound up taking a video and calling police to show them and having them handle it. After police got that video, they started talking with other workers. 2 other workers here mentioned having seen about things that they're saying could constitute abuse as well. One of them, I will say, just to put it out there, said that she observed this woman, her name's Carla Gonzalez. She allegedly observed her handling the kids roughly, but said she didn't think of it as abuse. I'll also mention that child care workers of any kinds, that would be teachers or somebody employed at a daycare, have what's called a duty to report abuse. That's not just abuse that they see, but even suspicion of abuse. That would be by fellow teachers or by a child's parent. They have to report that to DCF. That did not happen here, according to police. And so that's something they're looking into as well. A failure to report is at a minimum a 3rd-degree felony.
Has the management responded at all to that claim that they knew that this was happening?
I wasn't able to get a hold of any of the individual managers, so I did reach out to the director, supervisor, and multiple other employees today. I did not hear from them, but I did get a statement from Otter Learning, which is the company that oversees this particular facility. And they told me in part, quote, "We're deeply concerned by the allegations and are actively gathering information related to this serious matter. At Otter Learning, the safety and well-being of children in our care is and always will be our top priority." I know that DCF has mandated some extra training here. I don't know what that will involve, and I did ask Otter Learning about what they will be changing to ensure nothing like this happens again, or even that they don't face allegations like this again. I'm still waiting to hear back about that.
All right, Fox 35's Marie Ettinger. We appreciate you bringing us those details, and we'll stay tuned for your story coming up in just a little bit. We are also following up today on a story out of Lake County where a Groveland City Councilwoman has been reinstated amid a legal battle over some alleged social media posts. Going to bring in Fox 35's Randy Hildreth, who is following up on this story today. And Randy, you were inside the courtroom for that hearing this morning. Just kind of walk us through what happened and what happens now.
Yeah, so ultimately, Judith Fike was suspended from her position on the city council for the city of Groveland. That happened at a meeting last week. She retained an attorney. There was a lawsuit filed, and they were hoping to reverse that suspension or, put an injunction in place until all of this plays out, until they can investigate this, until a judge can look over this. But in the meantime, they wanted her to at least get back into her position. You're looking at video from the hearing today. Ultimately, a judge decided that she should be allowed to serve in her city official capacity on the city council. The argument was, and to walk you forward, last week she was suspended from her position after one of the city council members received a packet in the mail that included posts that she allegedly made, some dating back to 2015, one as recently, allegedly, as recently as November 2024, which would have been after she was appointed to her position on the city council. And those alleged posts included messages or posts on social media on what is now X and Facebook of what the council called disturbing posts, potentially racist, homophobic posts. And there was some concerns about the nature of what was allegedly posted. There was some concerns in, initially she said that she may have been hacked and this was a phishing scheme. So then bringing in the IT department with the city council. And so they just had a lot of issues with what was allegedly posted and the handling of that. So with all of that, they decided to suspend her. Once she was suspended, she fought back, and that's how we got to today, where they had this hearing to fight whether she was legally removed from her position and to try to get her back in office.
Because she's maintained that these posts were manipulated or taken out of context.
Yes, that was what she said early on. I did try to get more information from her about what about the posts was not accurate. She declined an on-camera interview. When I asked her those questions directly, I was told that I would get a statement later on today. I've not received that. The only thing she said to me in person was that she will continue to campaign. And that was part of their argument today. Her attorney, Anthony Sabatini, he is also Lake County Commissioner, if that name sounds familiar. One, he says that the document that the city council used to remove her, like their basis for taking her out of that position temporarily, he said that that's not really a legal document that they can anchor on that would rightfully remove her from office. And they also talked about early on, he said it could potentially be a violation of her First Amendment rights. Them removing her from office for these alleged posts. And then they also brought up some concerns about the fact that she is removed from office, the fact that they say that some of these posts were taken out of context, they may have been manipulated. This is causing irreparable harm because she's also running officially to have that seat. And they were saying it could create some confusion for voters and that she's suspended from office, but she's still on the ballot and they might be confused about whether or not she is actually a candidate.
So injunction is granted. She's back on the council as the other steps of this kind of lawsuit move forward. Have we heard from some of the other leaders in Groveland reacting to this news today?
Yeah, so I did reach out to the city to try to get a reaction to that. I asked them, lawyers representing the city today, their reaction to today's news. They decided not to comment, said that they wanted to get with the city to try to figure out next steps. At that meeting last week, when they decided to suspend Judith Fike, at the time, they said they wanted to bring in an investigator to look into these allegations that, the posts were made and they were altered or not actually accurate. And they are going to give her an opportunity to speak during a hearing after they bring in an investigator to look into all this. But no official comment from the city as of now about today's hearing.
Could be an interesting dynamic whenever they meet next.
Certainly, she is, back in her position. So at their next meeting, she will be in place and will be able to vote and comment and interact with everyone.
And where do things stand with the lawsuit, meanwhile?
Yeah, so that was the next question. When I spoke with her attorney, Anthony Sabatini, he says he expects to get this wrapped up pretty quickly. He says he with this kind of lawsuit, he says it's very simple. There shouldn't be a lot of discovery where they're having to pull a lot of information. So he is hoping to get this wrapped up very quickly.
Fox 35's Randy Hildreth, we appreciate you breaking all that down for us and joining us this afternoon here on Fox 35 News Plus.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
You're watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus. I'm Garrett Wymer, and thanks for joining us. This afternoon, we got some new details on what's being called Operation Summer Slammer. It was an undercover operation in Flagler County that the sheriff says lasted 6 months, targeting drug dealers. They seized cocaine, meth, fentanyl, just some of the drugs that they said they were able to seize. Also, guns, vehicles, $22,000 in drug profits as well, resulted in the arrest of 24 people, 24 arrest warrants. 6 of them, 24 arrest warrants, I should say, because 6 of them are still outstanding, but a couple dozen arrest warrants from this. Sheriff Rick Staley spoke at a news conference outlining all the work that went into this undercover operation. I spoke just a little bit ago.
One thing that in my entire career I've seen in common, if there's drugs, there's guns. And that's always the danger that we have when we buy drugs undercover. We serve search warrants as a result of those buys, because you never know what you're going to be met with. During the operation, we obtained 24 arrest warrants. And this morning, I joined our Special Investigations Unit, our SWAT team, our PACE unit, our Canine unit, our Fugitive unit, and others as we began taking these poison peddlers into custody and delivering them to the Sheriff Perry Hall Inmate Detention Facility, or as I like to refer to it, the Green Roof Inn. Operation Summer Slammer suspects included multiple cocaine traffickers, a fentanyl trafficker, and methamphetamine, marijuana, Suboxone, MDMA, and oxycodone. Combined, these 24 drug dealers have 316 prior arrests. Let me just highlight some of them. One offender, Thomas Lito Jr., was the equivalent of an illegal drug pharmaceutical store. Whatever illegal drug you wanted, you could get from him. Fentanyl, methamphetamine, cocaine, Suboxone, MDMA, hydrocodone, hydromorphine. He also possessed a firearm by a convicted felon. He's been to prison before, and he alone has been arrested 31 times. Another offender, Shannon Foster, age 47, residing in the Mondex area of Flagler County in the western part of the county, and previously arrested 20 times. He's been to state prison before, was wanted for the sale of methamphetamine, tried hiding in a small camper trailer and refused to come out. Well, he quickly changed his mind when we gassed him in the trailer. In about 2 or 3 minutes, he and another individual came out. He was arrested on the warrant and resisting arrest without violence. Everett Bullard, wanted for sale of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a park, had 43 prior arrests and has been to state prison. Terrence Dudley, wanted for trafficking and fentanyl, had 28 prior arrests and has been to state prison. Wanda Hadley, wanted for the sale of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a protected location, has been arrested 25 times and has served time in state prison. Russell Lassiter, now he's the winner. He was wanted for sale of cocaine. He's been arrested 51 times previously and also been to state prison. Terrence Leaks is another one that's been to prison, been arrested 9 times and served time in state prison. And then Gaines Smith Jr., wanted for 2 counts of sale of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a park. He's been to state prison and has had 9 prior arrests. Now, I mention this because obviously going to state prison, getting arrested all these times, they still don't want to change their behavior. So we're going to continue to arrest them. I know our state attorney will talk in a few minutes. He's going to continue to prosecute them. But if they won't change their behavior, then they need to be sentenced heavily by the judge, by the courts, to prison time, because they're selling poison in our community. Another offender that we had planned to arrest for selling fentanyl, her name was Brandy Lynn Gochenauer, sadly died of an overdose a few months ago at a young age of 51. These drug dealers are selling poison that can be deadly. It's too late for Brandy, but it's not too late if you use drugs to seek help and treatment before you become the next fatal victim of a drug dealer. We've made great strides in Flagler County, reducing overdose deaths in Flagler County. Our peak was in 2020 during COVID, when we had 48 overdose deaths. Last year, we had 11. That's still 11 too many. We will continue to investigate every overdose death as a murder. And thanks to our detectives and a strong prosecution by our state attorney, R.J. Larissa, we have a number of these poison peddlers sitting in state prison for selling that fatal dose. Of the 24, one deceased, 18 have been arrested, or the one that died, and 6 are still outstanding. I have a message to the 6 that are still outstanding. If you're a fugitive, I suggest you turn yourself in, because we're going to get you. It's only a matter of time. We're going to find you. You can continue to walk around looking over your shoulder for when our SWAT team or our PACE unit or our fugitive unit finds you, or SIU people find you, but you're going to get caught. Now, if you're out there and you know who one of these 6 people are, and they're on the board behind me, call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-277-TIPS, where you could be eligible for a reward. So help us find them and make some money yourself. Turn in a drug pusher, turn in a pill pusher, and let's together make our community safer, and maybe you can make a few dollars and help us put them in jail.
It was Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley just a little bit ago. We're going to take a break here on Fox 35 News Plus, but before we do so, I want to give you a live look right outside our studios here. This is our roof cam here at Fox 35 in Lake Mary. You can see the clouds there and the rainstorm, the rain showers kind of moving closer there to I-4 as traffic moves along the interstate there. We have seen, we've heard some rumbles of thunder here, and it looks like that rain's getting closer. You can see some drops on our tower cam as well. So we're going to take a break here on Fox 35 News Plus, but we'll be right back in just a couple of minutes.
You're watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus. You can look at the skies above Orlando in the area of Camping World Stadium, where we had that camera set just a few seconds ago, where we are talking about renovations, the upcoming renovations to Camping World Stadium, the possibility of hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2027. I had the chance today to speak with Florida Citrus Sports CEO Steve Hogan about some of those upcoming changes, what they mean for Camping World Stadium, what they mean for Orlando.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to get excited to start to see it take shape. You know, it's important to the whole community that we have a new identity, that it really looks and feels like what it is, a nationally, if not globally, competitive sports and entertainment venue, and that's what we're going to get.
Okay. How would this attract other sporting events?
Well, I mean, we've been looking to finish this for the better part of 20 years, so a 65,000-seat, fully competitive building, complete with all of the modern amenities and upgraded premium spaces. We're going to have a tucked stage in the south end zone. It's really going to help us on the touring concert business. We've had a great run of 6 touring shows this year with Alan Johnson, the city's team. So that building, you're hoping in the future is going to generate on the order of 900,000 to 1 million people a year. That's the payoff we've all been working towards. It's taken 20 years to get here, but we're confident this is going to be a competitive building. There's always something in the works. Of course, the one that everybody's probably most curious about is going to be when are the NFL and the Jaguars going to make a decision about 2027. You know, our expectation, of course, is that that's going to happen at some point this summer. We don't believe it'll go past October. That's when the NFL owners will meet and vote on a decision for the Jaguars' 27 home. We want that to be us, and we feel like we have every reasonable chance we're going to get it.
What's the appetite? How are you growing them here? I mean, do you think the product that you're going to produce here will be sustainable for them to come here?
We do. I mean, I think it's twofold. You know, the Jaguars need a place to play. We have a viable place to play and a tremendous community to do it in. So we're confident in the building we have today is competitive in that way. But the building we're building, we think is complete for an NFL team to have a season here. And we're going to want to show, if we're lucky enough that the Jags choose Orlando, and we play as many as 8 or 10 games here that season, it's going to show the world Orlando's open for business. So it's really a dual benefit. It's a building that's ready to host an NFL team, and I think that NFL team is going to help show the world why Orlando now for the next 30 years is a competitive place to do business.
Now, there's been talks about a roof. Is that still in the works?
No, you know, we lost that opportunity at a roof during the TDT process. As you know, the community had a list of things that needed to get done, which are all important. The Convention Center, UCF, of course, Camping World Stadium, so many other things needed to fit into that bucket. So we had to sacrifice half of the project funds, and that was the roof. Hopefully one day in the future, it's hot here, rains a lot, get a fair amount of lightning in the summer when we want to do business. We'll eventually get there. Jacksonville's going to have one. Other cities are going to add them. But for right now, we're going to have the best 65,000-seat complete building that we've ever had in this community.
Are the Orlando Dreamers, are they involved in talks about it?
We haven't been involved in talks with the Dreamers. Obviously, we're fans of sports. If we can have any major league franchise here in this community, we cheer them on. So we hope we're successful for Major League Baseball, NFL franchise, whatever Orlando can get, I think we deserve.
How do you think the Club World Cup win in Orlando?
It was amazing. We felt so blessed to be a part of that team that included Camping World Stadium along with Inter&Co in Orlando City and the Sports Commission and everybody else. It was a whole team effort in this community. But that club business of late, you know, both Arsenal, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Juventus, Manchester City, Barcelona, those FC series friendlies we've been doing, I think really set the stage for FIFA to look and say, wait a minute, this is a club tournament, a global club tournament, many of which have already played in Camping World Stadium. They make a lot of sense, and it really paid off. I mean, we're one of the better venues in terms of average attendance, 43,000 and change here on average for our 4 matches, represented very well, looked great on TV, great economic impact. The hoteliers I've talked to, especially downtown, have said it was a real blessing this summer to have FIFA Club World Cup. But again, I think we showed the world, especially for when you're talking about Women's World Cup in the future, more international friendlies, Copa America, we're open for business and Orlando can be trusted.
Are we ready for Taylor Swift and Beyonce? Will you be ready for these big high-end entertainment bands and celebrities?
Totally. I mean, we've hosted the Rolling Stones, Garth Brooks. I mean, this is, Alan Johnson's team at the City of Orlando has done an amazing job with these touring shows. The venue is now going to be much more financially competitive for the Taylor Swifts of the world. Garth Brooks put 72,000 plus people in this building. That's the kind of stadium we're going to have, but we're just going to be that much more competitive on the touring business. So when you retract that stage in the south end zone, you're going to add all that sideline seating. Normally those get blocked out. Our stage has to be so much further into the middle of the field. We're now going to be able to recess that back into the south end. So yeah, we're ready. We hope Taylor is going to come here, but really what we want is what we've been producing, 4 to 6 shows a year plus some. EDC is already amazing in the world of festivals, so many others, but touring business, we're going to be more competitive with the building we're about to open. It's not going to stay. That's at the end of its term, at a 10-year term with Camping World. And Mark Simono's been an amazing partner, helped both Orlando, I think, and Camping World as they went public with this endeavor. Been a huge success, but it's time for a change, and we're in the marketplace right now taking a look at who that next long-term partner is going to be. No, yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of interest. This, originally when we opened in 2014, a lot of people were like, what's the attendance going to look like? In 2022, we had 940,000 people here, 2 trillion impressions, marketing and exposure impressions for this destination, this venue around the world. It's been proven that this is a place that you should and want to put your name on. So we're talking to a lot of people, and we need a partner that fits with Orlando, that believes in the tourism model, the one that wants to see a diversity of events, motorsports and touring acts and music shows to college football, NFL football, and beyond. That's the kind of building you're buying, and so we're excited about that. There's a lot of suitors, but we're going to look for another 10-year minimum term, we hope longer, and set up that next run here for this community. Yeah.
Talking about looking for a new naming rights partner for the stadium at the end there. So we will see what the future name of Camping World Stadium might be. That's something to keep watching. Well, we appreciate you joining us here on Fox 35 News Plus. Give you a wide view there of Orlando. You now see Kia Center, some other parts of the city as well. Keep it right here on Fox 35 News Plus. We still have a few more minutes with you as soccer coverage continues right now. Let me take that off because that is making me dizzy. Still have a few more minutes with you. We are in soccer coverage right now on Fox 35, so that means we will extend Fox 35 News Plus until the start of Fox 35 News at 5 in a few minutes. So keep it here. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back.
watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus. I'm Garrett Wymer, and again, we got a few more minutes with you here before we hand things off to Fox 35 News at 5. So we appreciate you joining us live on Fox Local and on YouTube. Interesting hearing today on Capitol Hill. It was a hearing for the House Environment Subcommittee where they talked about the use of technology and some new ways, some innovative ways to strengthen and enhance weather forecasting. Obviously something that's been top of mind over the past couple of weeks, specifically since that flooding in Texas, where there have been questions about the warnings that went out, about the expectations about all that rain falling there. It's also something that we think a lot about this time of year here in Florida as we get deeper into hurricane season. The chairman of this subcommittee is actually a congressman from Florida, Scott Franklin, who is from Lakeland, and he talked today during this hearing about the importance of timing and effective predictions, specifically as hurricanes intensify.
This morning's hearing addresses a topic that affects hundreds of millions of Americans daily, the technological advances that contribute to the enhancement of weather forecasting. The recent floods in Texas and New Mexico, the tornado outbreaks in March and May, and of course the devastating wildfires in Southern California at the beginning of the year all highlight the need for higher quality weather forecasting. For years, NOAA's mission has been to protect lives and property. However, as the world modernizes, this responsibility no longer rests solely on their shoulders. A robust private sector that embraces and fosters various technologies and techniques is essential for our progress in all areas related to weather. Today, we'll hear from witnesses who utilize this raw weather data to inform the public about imminent storms, what the weather will be like in the days to come, and what conditions we can expect throughout an entire season. From my conversations with farmers back home in Florida, I know that seasonal weather predictions are vital to American agriculture. Without accurate forecasts in this sector, decisions about seasonal planting and harvest timing are less efficient, which reduces yields of crops that are the backbone of our economy. Floridians also recognize that accurate weather forecasts are crucial for their safety and well-being. Extended hurricane lead time combined with more accurate tracking and intensity predictions over the last decade has saved countless lives and businesses, largely in part to the work put in by NOAA's Hurricane Hunter aircraft based in Lakeland, Florida, my hometown. In 2024 alone, they flew 67 missions totaling over 520 flight hours. Representative Frost and I had an opportunity to fly into Hurricane Milton last hurricane season at the peak of its intensity. It was a strong Cat 4 at the time, one of the strongest storms on record, and that was a great example of how quickly these storms can intensify. In the new era of artificial intelligence, leveraging advanced modeling will enhance the accuracy and timeliness of our forecasts. This will give our nation a competitive advantage in industry development and resilience. Furthermore, it will help counter adversaries like China and Russia, who are already advancing their own AI programs that will ultimately undermine the security and economic prosperity of the United States.
Climate change is accelerating extreme weather, and we must do more to prepare our communities. We need to confront a hard truth. The United States cannot lead in weather prediction, cannot harness innovation, and cannot protect lives and property without people. Meteorologists who issue forecasts and warnings, hydrologists who model flood risks, climate scientists who analyze long-term trends, data analysts and modelers who improve forecast accuracy, emergency managers who translate forecasts into action, dedicated public servants, many represented here today, who work around the clock, ensuring our communities are warned and protected in real time. These experts are the backbone of America's weather enterprise. But this administration, the Trump administration, is taking a sledgehammer to that backbone. On May 2nd, 5 former directors of the National Weather Service wrote to President Trump with a stark warning. Our worst nightmare is that forecast offices will be so understaffed that there will be needless loss of life. This administration has already haphazardly gutted 15% of the National Weather Service's workforce. These were career public servants, scientists and forecasters, people who devoted their lives to keeping Americans safe. Now the remaining staff are asked to do the impossible, operate at full capacity with reduced numbers in an above-average Atlantic hurricane season. It's unacceptable. We're flying blind into the eye of the storm, quite literally.
As I mentioned previously, my home state of Florida is no stranger to hurricanes. We all know that. My hometown, as I said, has the hurricane hunters based at Lakeland Airport. Miami is the home of the National Hurricane Center. They even named